Isn't this the most interesting thing about your position in life, that you get people you don't even know coming up to you, asking you to say, whenever I'm in town, I always listen to such and such radio station, or I always watch such and such TV show, and you've never, in fact, seen it before in your life?
No.
Does that bug you?
But because it's happening to me, of course, I'm probably exaggerating it, but I still can't think of another example of any current band that has had more negative articles written about them.
Why do you think that is?
So many people, when growing up, think it would be a great idea to become famous, and they do everything they can to reach that goal. They strive for that. But often, not all the time, but often, there is a big drawback, a big downside, actually, to becoming famous. When you hit that goal and actually get there, and you're known worldwide, you're known by everybody, you'll often hear by people who have attained that goal that it's not all it's cracked up to be. You get recognized like everywhere, walking down the street, going to do your shopping. And the drawback to that is you're then public property in a way, right? You have no real private life anymore. And for child stars, movie stars, TV stars, they hit that fame as a kid, they're in all the popular movies, and then by the time you're a teenager and growing up to a young adult, you're then known as a washed up actor. Nobody wants to know you anymore. You can't get jobs. They only wanted you when you were a young kid, making all that money for them. And when you're at the top, the very top, like Nirvana were in the early 90s, it seems that all that some people want to do and all that the press want to do is to rip you apart, dig into your private life, and bring you down.
I can't help but feel that we've been scapegoated in a way, you know? I feel I have a lot of animosity towards journalists and press in general, you know?
Yeah, Kurt Cobain, he wanted success, wanted to be famous at one point, but then I think when he got there, just didn't expect all that scrutiny, all that media attention that would be put on him and his band. It actually drove him to want to quit Nirvana and break up the band at one point.
I mean, it affected me to the point of wanting to break up the band all the time, you know.
Now, for some, here I'll use the Kardashian family as an example. They are reality TV stars. They seem to like the attention, the fame, and all the money that comes along with it, and they just keep going and going. There are many other examples as well, I'm just using that as one. But for the average Joe from a small town like Cobain, like Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam or Lane Staley, just kind of regular guys, right? They want to go out there and play their music, become well known, be able to make a living off it, it's their job, but then to have complete strangers photographing them wherever they go, writing stories about them in the newspaper for the entire world to see. Stuff that isn't even true half the time. That Vanity Fair article, for example, that was written about Kurt and Courtney, which concerned their daughter Frances Bean, that one it really did rip Kurt apart, almost took him down for good right there and then. So as I say, guys like Kurt, Lane, Eddie, Chris Cornell, all talented, creative, they aren't manufactured pop stars. They're actually just real people getting their music out there, and when it all blows up and becomes so big and they do become really famous, it can really take a toll on these guys. And it did, and it does. Kurt, for example, was called the voice of a generation. He didn't want to be called that. Not really, I don't think. He didn't want to be known as that. That's a ton of pressure to put on someone, right? Is that part of the reason we lose and have lost so many of these big grunge and rock stars? I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't either. I'll go so far as to say when you're getting really negative press and stuff written about you that isn't true, it certainly doesn't help. I'll put it that way.
I don't know. I've never paid attention to mainstream to mainstream press and media before, so I've never been aware of people being attacked, and crucified on that level.
So the price of fame, yeah, it is a double-edged sword, and that's what it is. And if you do get into that business and do want to become famous, you got to expect that, because that's exactly what's going to happen. You'll get a ton of praise, but you also get a ton of negativity as well. For some, they can handle it, they love it, that's what they want. And for others, it's too much. They get thrown into this big entertainment machine and just spit out the other side and forgotten about. Just like it's some big money-making venture, the corporate side of it, they just want to get as much money out of their artists as they can, it seems. All just seems to be about the almighty dollar. But you got to remember, they're actually real human beings at the end of it. They aren't robots, although it seems they're treated as such at times. Go out, do all these concerts, release all these albums by a certain time, make a certain amount of money for us, or you're done. So just wanted to touch on that subject here in this video. Yeah, Kurt, Chris, and Dave got their aspirations, want to become big, well-known, get their music out there, become famous. But as the old saying goes, sometimes it's not all it's cracked up to be. And as we've heard from Kurt here himself in this video, certainly had those times where he was just buried by the media and he just did not like that side of it at all. In fact, it would really bring him down. So there it is, guys, for this video. Be sure to have your say in the comment section. Thanks heaps for tuning in as always. Be sure to drop a like on the video, sub to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll catch you next time.